forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to give away some Vortex binos, and you can't win unless you do. You heard it here first. Like, comment, subscribe. Every single month of this hunting season, I'm giving away binos. Okay, bye.
Guys, it is here. It's upon us. There's a place that you should be moving your trail cameras that you're not thinking of. Not talking about mock scrapes. Not talking about food sources even. So this is the time of the year in which like food sources are like probably the key thing to focus in on. You know, you got your bean fields, you got your acorns starting to drop in September. A lot of the times that's where we're focusing on hunting, because that is the area of congregation, I will call it. But those deer are coming from somewhere, okay? Which means that they have to get to that area of congregation. Sometimes they don't, not in daylight hours. And so, although like having trail cameras in and around food sources is important, and you should have it just to gain inventory, those cameras aren't always going to kill your deer for you. Okay, those camera locations are not going to. You know, we could talk about water holes on the private land. I'm not talking about that. I don't even have a water hole on any of my land. I know it's like a hot topic for a lot of people. They love water holes, and maybe they work, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not talking about that. Do I have cameras on some mock scrapes? Sure. Not a lot of luck with them, if I'd be honest with you. I think a lot of people like to talk about how good they do when they are doing good, but I think there's a lot of people that just don't talk about them, that don't have luck with them, and they don't set them up correctly either. I've seen that a lot on properties. Nonetheless, like, those are not areas that we're talking about today. I'm not talking about mineral. I think if you have cameras on mineral and you already know what big bucks are in and around your area, you should pull it off the mineral. You got your inventory, you know he's still there, and you should move your camera to this location. Put it in the bedding area. Now, the reason I'm telling you to put it in the bedding area right now is because now we're pushing close into season. Okay, bucks are going to start to shift into these bedding areas. Okay, and now especially on public land, go put it in the bedding area right now. I don't want you to put it in the bedding area in June, because now that camera has to last X amount of months, right? If you put those cameras, assuming like, especially if you're using like a Tacticam, I love the 3.0s, guys. Just the normal 3.0s. The battery life is amazing on things. You get a solar panel, it's bulletproof. Put the lithium pack in it, even better. You're bulletproof. You're good all season. But now, if we go move these cameras into the bedding areas right now, that area of congregation where they end up, may it be oaks, may it be acorns, may it be beans, may it be corn, alfalfa, whatever. I don't care if it's private or public. It's great. It's a good place to know where they're going, but if you don't know where they're starting, you don't know what the pattern is. And so at least if we put it in the bedding area, guys, that hopefully you know where it is, and if you don't, and you're looking hunting public land, like, go right now and go find it. Go jump him. Literally go jump him, because how else, like that, is there a better way to know? I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's public land, and if you don't, somebody else is gonna go beat them to it. And so go put it in the public. Go put it in the bedding area, because that is the area of that's the point. That's the point of start, like the starting point, I'll say. You know, before they go to that area of congregation. And like, how do you know if you're in the bedding area? One, obviously you jump the buck out of that bedded area, area of bedding. Well, there's one way to know. But otherwise, look for condensed sign. Rubs are the main focus for me. Condensed rubs. And as we get into this transitional period where they're dropping their velvet, if you're finding rubs in September, guys, hunt them. Maybe not field edge rubs, but like rubs back in the timber, hunt them. That's fresh sign. Doesn't get any fresher than that. You know what I'm saying? And they're not laying down quite as many rubs as they would in late October, so there's less sign. So when you do find the sign, it's a really good sign for you. Move these cameras back into these areas where you can find condensed sign of 5, 10, 15 rubs. Where you can find that is generally where he's holding up in daylight hours. Don't put your tree stand there, and maybe even put your camera 20, 30 yards out of there so it's not monitoring the bed. I don't like doing that. These deer have a sixth sense about them. I think they can hear the frequency of the cameras. You put it on that bed, I don't think they're going to use that bed very often. Possibility they do, but I haven't had a lot of luck using that, so I would move it out to maybe the first scrape outside of the bedroom. Some of you know where that is on your property already, on your private land parcels and even your public land parcels. Move that camera there now, because that is going to be an area in which he uses throughout the entire season. Okay, if he really likes that bedding area, he might not always go to the cornfield. That ends up getting cut. Or those oaks are going to change and the acorns are going to be gone. But if he always starts at his hub and then he goes different directions from where he was going early season, you're always going to get him on camera throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? The bedding area is the number one place to have a camera early season. That's all I'm going to say. That is the point of inception. That is the point of the starting point. And he branches out from there. He's going to have numerous bedding areas, and you should have numerous cameras at that point. Especially on public land, guys. If you're going to put a camera anywhere, like, that deer might be traveling 800 yards, even farther, from bed to food. And I've got private land parcels where I can think of where deer are traveling over a half mile in daylight hours, in more big timber country where you can see through the timber for a long ways. Thicker, tighter cover, they're not going to move as far. Keep that in mind as well. But if you don't know where the bedding area is to start with, you don't know how to hunt these deer, you don't know what direction they're coming from, guys. And so the transition area is fine, but once again, if you don't know where the bedding is, you don't know where the bedding is, you don't know where the transition area is anyway. So go find it and take a camera with you. I'd pull, if you have cameras on mineral, I'd pull it off right now. You know what's what at this point, guys. And quite frankly, like, those deer are going to stop using mineral by September 7th. They don't need it anymore. It's not of interest. Don't be hunting over mineral. Don't be that guy. Make sure you're moving these cameras into the bedding area, specifically looking for multiple rubs, more so than scrapes. You're not going to see like opened up scrapes at this point anyway. Look for the licking branches, though, outside of those multiple rub areas, 20, 30, 50, 100 yards outside of those areas. Licking branches headed to that destination food source where the leaves are licked off or removed from that tree, okay? Because they're using that as a signpost to hit some of their glands and some other things, especially like that nasal gland gets used a lot more to like test urine and scrapes. That's a different story for a different day. Come pre-rub. But anyway, guys, look for the condensed sign in the bedroom. That's the bedding area. Back off of it a little bit. First licking branch or scrape outside the bedroom. Put the camera there. Leave it there. And now because we put it there late in the summer, early in the fall, it should last you all the way until December. Lock it up. Don't get your stuff stolen on camera or on public land. Don't get those cameras stolen. If you need to. But guys, putting cameras in the bedding area right now this time of year, there could not be a more valuable spot. And the nice thing is you don't have to move that camera throughout the entire year. The bedding area is always the hub. He might leave, he might go to new ones, but he eventually comes back to bedding areas. You can't always say that for any given food source during the entire season. Put your camera in the bedding area.